Alright you guys, a really fast short video here. We've already learned about the unit circle and trig functions. We just kind of want to connect the two real fast. What I'd like to do is write all of my 6 trig functions up there on the right, and I'll do my rainbow of reciprocals, so sine and cosecant of reciprocals as our cosine and secant, and tangent and cotangent. Alright, I'd like to draw a circle. You notice this unit circle is filled in, and I'd like to draw a triangle on the circle where we know this angle right here is 30 degrees, and I'd like to fill in some distances. I know that length right there of the lower leg of the triangle is root 3 over 2. I know that because that's how far we go over in the x direction, and yeah, that is the x side of the triangle. Okay, if that point in the middle is 0, 0, right, which it is for the unit circle. We then know that you go up on the right, that side is a half, because that's the y value, right? We've learned that before. And that the hypotenuse is 1. So I'm just going to write down SOHCAHTOA, you guys already know that. Sine of 30 is opposite over hypotenuse, which is a half over 1. And since anything divided by 1 is itself, that's just equal to a half, okay? Which happens to be the y value right there. Check that out, okay? Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 1, which happens to be just root 3 over 2, or sorry, root 3 over 2 over 1, which happens to be root 3 over 2, okay, which is the x value. And so we notice something, that in the whole circle, cosine of theta is x, and sine of theta is always y. The reason for that is this little triangle up here. You notice that the horizontal distance you go is x, the vertical is y, and the hypotenuse is 1. We can then find tangent of theta pretty easily. Real quick, let me fill in that this angle right here is theta. Okay, tangent of theta then is opposite over adjacent, which is y over x. Secant of theta is 1 over x. Cosecant of theta is 1 over y. These are the reciprocals, and cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. Just flip the y and the x, so you get x over y. So problems that we might have are ones where you have to find all 6 trig values at a given function. So let's write down the point. The point is 0, 1 at pi over 2. You see pi over 2 right there. And so yeah, let's write these in. So if cosine of theta is x, and that means the x value right there is 0, it's just going to be 0. Okay. Sine of theta is 1. That's just the y value. Okay. Tangent is y over x, which unfortunately is dividing by 0, so we're going to have to cross that out and say that is undefined. Sometimes our values are undefined. Secant is then the reciprocal, which again is dividing by 0, so 1 over 0 is undefined. Cosecant is 1 over 1, that's the reciprocal of sine, so that is just 1. And cotangent is x over y, so that's 0 divided by 1. And all of those values I got just from using this point right here, 0, 1. Once I get the point off the unit circle, I don't need to use the unit circle anymore. I can just use my 6 trig functions which come in up there. Alright, let's try the next one. I'm going to clean out, oh yeah, 0 divided by 1 is just 0. Let's try the next one. I'm going to clear off the unit circle so that we can see which one I'm talking about. So sine of pi over 4, we're looking at that little sliver right there which I circled. That, remember, sine is just the y value. The y value there is root 2 over 2. So that value is just root 2 over 2. These are pretty easy to do once you learn the pattern and know which one's which. Cosine of x is, we're coming from up there because that's to the 2 pi over 3 angle. Cosine of x, or sorry, cosine of theta is just x. The x value there is negative 1/2. So cosine of 2 pi over 3 is negative 1/2. Notice I'm doing all these without a calculator, and that is what I expect you guys to be able to do once we get to the quiz, okay? This last section, you need to know that negative pi over 4 is equal to 7 pi over 4. Those are the same thing. Remember, negative angles just go down, or clockwise, down from the positive x-axis. And we get that, yeah, secant of theta is 1 over x, so we need to do the reciprocal of the x value. The x value is root 2 over 2, so we flip it and we simplify it. You get root 2. That's why it's very important to simplify these. Okay. Yeah. So if we get root 2, then that's the value. Okay. Real quick, I want you guys to try the rest of these down here before coming to class, and we'll work those out in class. And lastly, I want you to at least think about the answer to these understanding questions. They're things that we've talked about with the exception of periodic. Periodic just means it repeats itself, and you can consider why is it that the trig functions are periodic. Okay? Alright, hope you enjoyed this short, sweet video, and we'll see you in class.